the disconnect between what people are feeling and seeing at the grocery stores, at their tables, and what the president is saying about the economy?
Let me just be real clear. We get into the holiday seasons. We've actually have seen a decrease in eggs, in bacon, in milk since last year.
Would you like to see?
Yeah. So we are seeing lowering cost as we're going into the holiday season, as people are going to do some holiday shopping. We're seeing lowering cost in TVs and things that people need to think about as they want to give a gift to their loved ones. And so we're seeing some costs go down, airline tickets, gas prices. So the work that we have done, the work that this president has done, the investing, whether it's investing in America, whether it's Bidenomics, we're seeing that. We're in a different place today than we were a year ago. We are just in a different place with costs going down, we've talked about the growth is higher than 5% last quarter. That is because of the work that we have done. We saw inflation is moderating. That is because of the work that we've done. And look, to your question about what Americans are feeling, we understand that we're coming out of a pandemic. What Americans had to deal with was a big deal. People lost loved ones. The economy was in a tailspin. Certainly wasn't helped by the last administration. This administration had to actually do the work.
But inflation is up 17.7% since the president took office.
Inflation fell to 3%. That matters. I just talked about the important goods that matter to the American people, how that's going down. As we're going into the holiday season, actually we started it, as we're going to go into certainly Christmas in a couple of weeks and other important events that people follow this month. And so we're seeing prices go down. And let's not forget the historic actions that this president has done.
I forgot.
Talked about Big Pharma. I've talked about the Inflation Reduction Act. That's because of what this president has done. And let's not forget, Inflation Reduction Act, only Democrats voted for it. Republicans decided not to. Ken.
Yep. Thank you, Karine.
Are you surprised that I'm calling you?
I was. Just one question.
Sure.
Does the Department of Education have any guidelines to ensure that schools receiving federal funding have reasonable protections for students from threats of violence, harassment, intimidation as part of their code of conduct? So reasonable protections in order to get the federal funding.
So I would have to go back or refer you to the Department of Education. That's such a specific question, so I just would have to go to the Department of Education because I don't know which programs you're specifically talking about or how that works, so I just need to...
Related to the university president's testimony and how, the university presidents were saying that their codes of conduct may not designate any of the language, the infantata language, as against their rules unless it turned. So,
well, look, I, as far as it relates to funding and how that works, I would have to certainly refer you to the Department of Education. We have been very clear. You heard me yesterday about how we feel when we see hatred, the way that we have seen go up in a community like the Jewish community, anti-Semitism. We're going to call that out. It is unacceptable. We're going to have the moral clarity here. This president has had moral clarity on that. And so we're going to continue to be steadfast and call that out and say anti-Semitism is unacceptable. Okay, Michael.
Thanks, Karine. At DHS, there's an office called the Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction Office. And its job is to protect major cities and major events across the country against chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats. On February 2nd, this office will disappear without congressional reauthorization. And it protects things like the Super Bowl, which is just a couple days later, February 11th. Is this something that the White House is prioritizing? Is it involved in ensuring that Congress fits this into some vehicle?
I would have to talk to our Office of Legislative Affairs on that particular question. Obviously, what you just laid out is, concerning, and we want to make sure that communities are safe, and certainly events like the Super Bowl, people feel safe. And so I would just have to connect with the Office of Legislative Affairs on that one. Okay, go ahead.
Thanks. On immigration, you mentioned several times this day one bill that the president put forth. My question is, would he be willing to meet with Republicans and have a meeting with them about that particular bill to make his case for why he thinks that that should pass?
Wow.
I mean, look, it's been almost 3 years. It's a comprehensive bill. You know, lawmakers on the Hill, you know, they know how to read a bill, right? They know how to look at the bill and pull from the bill what they accept and what they don't accept, right? And we did that on day one and have had multiple conversations from our side here, Leg Affairs Office, with members of Congress. This is something, can you imagine the first thing that this president does as putting forward a piece of legislation is on immigration, a comprehensive piece of legislation? That shows, if anything, that should show how committed he is to that issue. And what we keep hearing from Republicans is either they use immigration as a political stunt or they try to make cuts, right? Or they vote against what the president is trying to put forward, right? Or they say we want to take away 2,000 CBP agents. I mean, that's what, if you look at HR 2, that's basically what it's saying. It's extreme.
Oh, right.
It's extreme. So we have a comprehensive plan, and they put forth a plan that is extreme.
If he's committed to it, would he be willing to meet with them? And if not, why not?
I mean, you're missing the point here. The point is the president put forth a comprehensive plan on day one, almost 3 years ago. Almost. And what they do instead is put forth extreme bills that does nothing to fix the broken system. That's the point.
Thanks, Karine. Eric Adams is on the Hill today meeting with lawmakers to talk about the migrant crisis. Is he meeting with anyone at the White House?
I don't have any meetings to read out about Eric Adams meeting with anyone here. I would have to check in. I don't have anything.
Has there been any sort of progress or dialogue with mayors as they try and accommodate the influx of migrants and prepare for
I mean, look, we have been committed, have certainly put forth resources for mayors to deal with the influx of migrants. We have had multiple conversations. Our IGA office has been in close contact. There's been in-person meetings in states, in cities, wanting to make sure that we hear their concerns, and we provided assistance. We have provided assistance, and so that's going to continue, right? That's going to continue. And so that's why we're asking Congress for more. We're asking Congress to help us in trying to deal with this broken system that has been broken for decades. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Go ahead.
Senator Joe Manchin, who has openly left open the possibility of an independent run for president next year, has been heavily critical of the administration's rollout of the clean energy tax credits enacted as part of the Inflation Reduction Act. And last week he also spoke against the Treasury and DOE's interpretation of foreign entities of concern that are a key component of eligibility for the tax credits. I want to know if the administration had a response to this. Has the president spoken to Manchin recently? What did you make of this comment?
So I'll say this. I can't speak to the senator's potential or not potential run. That's something that he has to speak to for himself. Certainly nothing that I can speak to from here. What I can say is that, we have had a very good working relationship with Senator Manchin. We appreciate his partnership. We could not have gotten the Inflation Reduction Act done without him, obviously, but just not going to get into anything else specifically. Obviously, this is an issue that is important to the president when it comes to climate change, when it comes to clean energy. These are issues that the president has led on. He has had the most aggressive climate change agenda. When he walked in, he said climate change was one of the 4 crises that we've had to deal with, and that's what you've seen him do. You've seen him act on that. All right, thank you, everybody.